Look at these bubbles, and just beautiful, right? And that crust, crispy outside, soft and airy inside, and fully loaded with flavor, and covered with rich pizza sauce. You know, this easy focaccia dough makes the perfect dinner. It's one of the easiest and most satisfying homemade breads you can make. Let's get started. So first, let's measure the ingredients. Flour and water are the most important, so don't skip this step. For this recipe, I'm using 500 grams of bread flour. That's about 17.65 ounces. Bread flour is always my first choice for focaccia, because the higher protein gives you bigger bubbles and that soft airy inside we all love. Once you weigh the flour, just keep it aside for a moment. Next, we measure the water. Today I'm using normal tap water because I'm using instant dry yeast, so I don't need to activate it. If you're using active dry yeast, then use lukewarm water to activate it first. Here I'm using 450 grams of water, which is about 15.85 ounces. Now add the yeast, 2 teaspoons, around 5 to 6 grams, and a quick tip about yeast. Make sure it's not expired and not something you opened months ago and forgot about. Always check the date, and if you're activating it, make sure it actually bubbles nicely. Now add 1 tablespoon of honey. Honey helps the dough ferment better and gives you a more airy texture. Next, add the salt. I'm using pink rock salt today, but you can use regular salt or flaky sea salt, whatever you have. And of course, a little extra virgin olive oil. That's my favorite. Olive oil makes focaccia soft, moist, and full of flavor. Now give the mixture a good mix. Make sure everything is dissolved. Our flour is ready. Our yeast mixture is ready. So let's combine them and make perfect dough. Get a big mixing bowl. Add the flour and the yeast mixture. Start mixing with a dough whisk or just use your hand. Go with easy way. Mix until you don't see any dry spots. And yes, the dough will look a bit wet and sticky. Don't worry, this is completely normal. Focaccia is high hydration dough. If you feel it's too wet for you to handle, you can reduce the water. Just use 400 grams instead of 450. You can see here, this is the texture we're looking for. If you're using all-purpose flour, the dough can look a bit wetter. Just sprinkle in a little extra flour and adjust the texture until it feels right. Once everything is combined, scrape the sides, cover the bowl, and let the dough hydrate for about 1 hour. After 1 hour, look at this dough, fully hydrated, soft, and so beautiful. This is exactly what we want before the next step. Wet your hand with a little water. Now let's do the stretch and fold. Take one side of the dough, lift it up, stretch gently, and fold it over to the opposite side of the bowl. Turn the bowl a quarter turn and repeat. You'll do this all the way around. What this does is amazing. It slowly builds gluten, gives structure, and sets the dough up for those big airy bubbles. It's honestly one of the most relaxing steps in bread making. Now cover the bowl again and come back in 30 minutes for the second round. When you're back, do the same stretch and fold again. This simple technique and without kneading is what gives focaccia that open crumb and those beautiful bubble pockets inside. It's an easy method, but it makes such a difference. Cover the dough once more and let it sit for another 30 minutes before the third round. Now we're at the third stretch and fold, and you'll notice such a change. The dough looks smoother, softer, and it's got that little bounce when you touch it. As you lift it, it stretches almost like silk. Once you finish, cover the bowl and let it rest again for 30 minutes more. While the dough relaxes, let's make a quick pizza sauce. Pizza sauce can be as easy as mixing everything in a bowl, but today I want a richer, deeper flavor, so we'll cook it for a few minutes. Slice 2 to 3 garlic cloves. Heat a pan with a bit of oil on medium heat. And saute the garlic until it smells amazing. Now pour in your tomato sauce. Add your herbs. I'm using dried oregano and parsley. Season with salt and some fresh basil if you have it. If your tomato sauce is a little sour, just add a pinch of sugar. It balances everything. Let it cook for 2 to 3 minutes and that's it. Our pizza sauce is ready. Alright, after the third stretch and fold, let's take a look at this dough. It's soft, smooth, nice jiggle, perfect dough. And you know, drizzle some olive oil and spread it across the bottom. If your tray isn't non-stick, line it with parchment paper. Focaccia loves to stick. If you have time, you can actually cold ferment this overnight in the fridge. That long, slow rise gives you even better flavor. Fold it gently from both sides, flip it over, and let it settle. Just ease it in. No pressure. Use light hands. Let the dough relax. This needs a final rise. Cover the pan and let it rest for about an hour, or a little more if your kitchen is cold, but don't let it overproof. If it rises too high, it collapses when we dimple it, and we don't want that. Before we dimple, preheat your oven to 230 degrees Celsius or 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Now drizzle a little more olive oil on top and rub some on your hands too. It makes easier to handle. Use all your fingers and gently press across the whole surface. Use your fingers to gently press inside the edge. This helps the crust stay slightly thicker and rise higher while baking. It helps make a slightly thicker, crusty border. That little trick gives you that perfect crusty focaccia pizza edge. Now, spread a thin layer of your pizza sauce on top and give a few gentle dimples again so the sauce settles in nicely. Now bake this base for about 15 minutes. Look at that edge. It already looks like a pizza crust, right? And those small bubbles in the middle, perfect. Now let's build the pizza. Add another layer of sauce, then cover it with cheese. Now toppings. Today I'm making a meat lovers style: chorizo, mortadella, ham, chicken, salami. You can add whatever you like. Make it your own. Bake again for 10 minutes. And look at this, fully loaded, full of flavor, and the smell is amazing. This is what a focaccia pizza should look like. Soft and airy inside, crispy outside, and so satisfying. Try this at home. Your family will love it. And if you enjoyed this recipe, share it with someone who always wants to make easy pizza at home. Don't forget to subscribe for more simple and delicious baking recipes. Until then, enjoy.